Okay. Hello, Paula. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, it's wonderful.
We've had many
Love it.
conversations, haven't we,
Oh, yes.
over our time of being in business. And I'd like to welcome everybody here to Courageous Conversations. And I'd like to especially welcome Paula Giolitto from Everything Visual. And Paula, just share a little bit to, the viewers a bit more about your background and Everything Visual.
Oh, gosh, graphic designer for 35 years, been in business for 15. It's been a journey. It's been a roller coaster ride. It's ups and downs. It's roundabouts, and sometimes when you drive through a roundabout and you miss the exit and you go round and round to get off it again.
What a great analogy.
It's like, oh geez,
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's given us and me, my family, I think what I wanted it to, and to have fun along the way. Yeah, sure, there's times where you don't, the fun element just gets kicked off to the side, and it's tough. But I think now in our, like you said, our wisdom years, and they're your words, but
yeah.
I think I've gotten rid of all the hard bits, and not having staff and not having the office, and I think you definitely helped me to come up with that saying of being a human-centered person and being a human-centered graphic designer. It's funny when I tell that to people, they get it straight away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so being connected to who you truly are. Yeah, absolutely. So human-centered person. What is that for you, and what does that symbolize for you?
It's a connection. Like it's understanding the person where they are at that point of time, and allowing them to feel comfortable, and to help them get centered. And to say, well, hey, it's more than just, oh, what do you need from me? And I can't give that unless I know more about them and their passion. And whenever I talk to someone in business, and look, my ideal client is where I talk directly to the business owner. And there's categories that I look for, and they just land on my desk at times, and yeah, it's just getting that connection and talking and being honest.
Yes.
And say, I really love your business, and I'd love to work with you. Yeah. And I don't say that just to sort of, what's the term, to massage them, and I need to know that who I'm working with has that same passion, because if I can't connect with them, if I can't connect with their ethos in business, then it's not going to be a good partnership, is it?
No. And ideal clients don't resonate with that, with who they truly are. So this is where the heart-centered person, when you get into the heart and soul of the person, the business owner in this case, then you're able to really have them connect with who they truly are and their why.
Yeah.
Why they do what they do, because we're so close to it generally that it's very hard for us to articulate it. And once we start to talk about our passion and purpose, why we got started in the first place, because as we go along the pathway and have different challenges, financial challenges, ideal client challenges, all those sorts of things, then we start to lose our why, disconnect from that, forget that. So what I'm hearing is you tap into that and help them to reconnect with who they truly are, why they got started in the first place. And then
it took me a long time. It took me a long time to really dig deep and go, hey, what is my personal why? How do I find that? And it was like, well, people were coming to me through word of mouth or, referrals. I'm going, why? And it's like, you know, they say, oh, your unique selling proposition and all this sort of thing. And, you know, that's okay, but it can take, yeah, sure. I loved graphic design. I love the being, you know, the creative side of it, but why were people coming to me?
Yes.
You know,
Getting conscious about the reality of your business life in that case. And you as a human being, because you'll be taking yourself with you everywhere you go, not just in business, right?
Yeah.
And this
and it's being more centered and grounded and having that true understanding and, you know, and dare I say it, the love and the fun.
Yes.
You know, the meeting today with a new client with a school, and you walk in and you can straight away, I saw her passion and that sort of bounced off on me, and it was like, oh my goodness, you know, and for me it's just being myself.
Yes.
And it took me a long time. I thought I had to prove to myself, I thought I had to prove to, you know, even my husband and family. And, you know, in those younger days, you know, you had so much stuff coming in to it, you know, and you lose that real connection and you get a little bit lost.
Yeah.
And I think you always have to step back and go, okay, you know, why am I doing this?
Yeah. And what's truly important, because I'm hearing there, you know, you've obviously got a responsibility with family. Yes.
Yeah.
As well as business clients. How do you, you know, blend all that in a way that you stay in alignment with who you truly are and what you do?
It was hard. It was hard.
It would be, absolutely. And it is for a lot of people that what they're facing. So this is where the connection can occur, and rightly so. You know, because we put a lot of expectations on ourselves.
Yeah.
And be very hard. So I'm guessing a lot of people who might be watching this video or listening might be wondering, well, how did you tap into that? So you said it's taken a long time. How did you start tapping into that? Because you just used some beautiful words like love, fun, connection, right?
Yeah.
Where did you start?
I think, you know, a lot of things changed because, you know, I had young children, I had, you know, the commitment of staff and having all of those responsibilities. And business owners have that. They have that responsibility who get to that stage where they have to make that terrifying decision of taking that business to the next stage. And when you enter into that period of time, it's like, oh my goodness, you know, it was a scary time. Putting on another graphic designer, putting on an office manager, putting on several casuals.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know. It wasn't what I called fun at that time, because the moment you take on a staff member, you have a responsibility for them. I had a responsibility to my children. I had a responsibility to my husband, the family, the home, the office, and knowing, you know, all those things of put the key in the door, and you've got to know how many sales you need to get that week to cover all your costs.
Correct.
You know, and it's and I think when you do get to that stage, that growth stage, I do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can resonate with other people that your goals change, the stress levels change, the fun may not be there as much as you thought it would have been, and I lost connection. I lost a lot of connection with myself, and being a controlling person was something that I had to try and combat, is allow people to take ownership of particular roles.
Wow.
Which released me to a certain degree.
Mm.
Um,
And I'm sure a
yeah,
lot of people out there can relate to what you just said. I certainly
yeah,
can, right?
yeah,
It's the hardest thing to do is to still be responsible and let go. You can oversee and letting go of trying to control everything and everybody, because that also means you're controlling yourself, which means you're not then having fun and disconnected, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to, so now you know that as you reflect back on that, because now, you know, as we step into the wisdom years, right? It's like, and when I talk about wisdom years, I'm not talking about, a lot of people think it's about age.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about learning lessons. It's about, because we're all born with wisdom.
Yeah.
We just disconnect from it right from early stages. And we go on this path thinking, I have to do it this way in order to, or this is how I was taught to do it, or this is what everyone else is doing. And I've worked with a lot of business people from all walks of life. And I always remember distinctly a couple came to me and they said, we want to grow the business. The problem we're having is my husband wants to make sure that we do it this way because he wants to make sure that we're there to pick the kids up from school. But I don't know if we can do it that way so that we can still have the lifestyle that we want. And I think that we have to adjust it differently. So business comes in many different forms. You don't have to have it looking a certain way. And I always love the fact that create a life and a business that you love.
Yeah.
Do it your way, on your terms, what feels right for you intuitively, deep inside. That has you feel heart-centered, so that when you're connected with your clients, you know that you're instantly connected to them at a heart and soul level.
Yeah.
To get them
there.
I
know. When a new client would walk in, and they'd sit with me, I know I had that connection, but it was like probably a little bit forced.
Okay.
It didn't feel so natural because you've got all this stuff happening, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it was weird because they still felt it. They still felt my passion, my caring nature, and all those normal things that you are supposed to try and put forward to a client. And that was strange because, you know, the sign up was, you know, or the close of sale was, you know, if 10 clients come in, I'd sign up 8 of them.
Yes, yes.
You know, there was something there that they seemed to connect with, but I didn't know what it was.
Yes. So it's like your natural self was coming forward, but because of the headspace and being full up mind. Okay. And this is what happens. Then we're not fully present to our own strengths and gifts and talent. We naturally radiate. Right. This is always my first job with every client, is to get them to connect with who they truly are and what they've naturally been doing, because once you own that in a beautiful, harmonious, loving way that says, oh, this is what my natural strengths and gifts and talents are. I've got the evidence, right? And then when you connect with that, that's what presence is, and you bring that forward naturally. And this is what I'm hearing you're stepping into more and more.
Yeah.
With
your wisdom and your experience and such a beautiful nature that it like you talk about the inside out. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't feeling that, taking care of myself from inside out.
Yes.
Because it's all rush here, do that, do this, you need to be here and you need to respond to that. And you forget, I just forgot how to just stop and be. And I spoke to you about this before I met you. When what I found was, when I say, Paula, just be. And that second when I'd say that, it's like everything would just leave me that is unnecessary. Yeah. But to understand that and to practice it more, that's where I know you've helped me. And
yeah, go ahead. So thank you for
no.
Thank you for sharing that. This is great, because that's a good segue, because a lot of people will want to know, well, how did you do that? Because you had a wake-up call. You had a wake-up call with pain, body, physical pain. So when you keep going on that pathway of your journey of unconsciousness, even though you were successful on the outside, because you're saying, well, there was a disconnection from inside, but you don't know what you don't know. And then the body starts to create a state of unease, which then becomes dis-ease.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's a repetitive pattern that was formed back here over time. And then all of a sudden, pain, restriction, and we can call it a wake-up call of some kind. Because you had to go in. Yeah. Forced to stop and to connect to your true self.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, as you know, there are people out there that are chronic pain sufferers, and unfortunately, yes, I'm one of them. And I think I stopped fighting it.
Wow.
And there's a form of acceptance. And when you accept something, you don't tend to fight with it so much. Right. So, look, I've done Reiki and work, and had many meetings with yourself, and to say, well, you go, well, the second you feel stress, then the pain is exasperated. So it's like, no, hang on a minute. I accept my pain, but I know now that I have to just be and relax. And instead of pain being this red, fiery, color of, and it's hot and it's angry, and you go, no, I just don't accept that anymore. It's like, no, hang on a minute. It's blue, it's cool. I've got my feet in a river, and the water's running over my feet and cooling, and you just have to just stop.
Yeah.
I mean, the minute, and this relates with anything, I think, Annette, like stress, anger, all these
anxiety,
painful things that we exasperate ourselves. And it's like, no, hang on a minute. No.
And you've been doing a lot of self-care on that, because what you're about there is going inward to listen into your body. And you've used imagery, which is the power of creative visualization. You're using imagery you're feeling what that you're feeling. You're accepting, okay, well, right now there's black and red and it's fiery and it's upsetting. Because I work a lot with people in pain, because they've got to that stage in their life where life wasn't working. So the contraction occurs, right? So much. And what you used at work, you just had to let go and surrender. It doesn't mean resignation.
No.
It means transformation.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then you're using beautiful imagery, coloring, and water on your feet, and whatever that serves you at that time. To release the contraction. In other words, be with what there is to be with, because what you resist will always persist. And to rest your body when you needed to rest, to listen in, and you even started swimming. So moving your body in ways that you enjoy through self-care, all those areas. What did
because if you care, like I have found that with the swimming, it was about me. I was putting myself, my health first. And I think anyone in business needs to do that, because you're no good to anybody. And I feel some sadness that I didn't find that earlier. And I'm hoping that people who see this, maybe they're younger people, going into business, or even, our middle-aged, going into business, that they understand, if you do not take care of yourself, from the inside out and do things that give you joy, then how can you possibly move forward in a business in a way that you are going to, well, enjoy it?
Feel the fun, feel the flow, feel the freedom.
Yeah.
Because that is what is possible. Instead of chasing after a goal, an end game, it's being present, fully present, and drawing the vision towards you, drawing your why towards you, so that you're living your why here and now. So to my clients, you can't get there without being here first. So why not be here, right?
Yes.
And what you just described beautifully is one of the greatest lessons I've learned in running my own business for over 30 years, right? Is it's been the most powerful personal development path of my life.
Yes.
And extreme self-care always goes in my diary first.
Yeah.
Always. Before
Yes.
anything else. Because once you connect to that, you'll connect with the universe, you'll connect with your clients, you'll connect with your intuition of knowing which direction you want to move the business, instead of comparing and competing with everyone else.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is our way, you know.
Yeah. And I'm enjoying myself so much more. Like, you know, before it was like, you know, a client, you know, even a new client or a regular client would just, you know, ring, oh, can you come and see us? And I hang up and go, oh God, I'm going to get in my car, and oh God, really, I've got to leave, and I've got to go and see them, you know. And it was like, and it was so hard. It was so, it was a real effort. And now it was like the new client this morning, I was like, right, you know, what I need to take. I was so enthusiastic and jumped in the car and couldn't wait to get there. And it was like, my gosh, what a transition.
What shifted for you from that person you described, you know, previously to now?
I just feel as though I'm more in control of me. That's a real hard one. It's you know, you know, I've always struggled with, I suppose, trying to verbalize that shift.
Well,
and you could help me with that, because you've seen me over the last 2 years that we've been great friends, and we've
amazing conversations that we have.
Amazing, absolutely crazy conversations, beautiful conversations, that is sort of you teaching me to really try and verbalize that. What was my shift? And I think it was self-care, loving myself. And that's a big one. And you know that. It was like loving myself, taking care of myself, and making decisions for myself. You know, there's a lot of history, you know.
And what came up just then was the fact is you got clear, defined boundaries that have come in, because you ask yourself, really, because I know we've both talked about how we've gone through different phases and stages of our business, right?
Yeah.
When we think our business is meant to look a certain way, this is the end result and I'm going for it, I'm getting there, right? And that's what success looks like and feels like, hopefully. Right? But it doesn't work that way, because we know that we've both been through many different evolving phases, pain, grief, upset. All those areas along the way, they're the wake-up calls. And it's for us to go within and say, hang on a minute, the evolution of me is trying to tell me something. Who am I now? Who is my ideal client now? Like for me, I've been asking, what is my preference? Do I want to do workshops, or would I prefer one-on-one? Do I want to do online marketing? How do I want to set it up? And it's a continual exploration conversation of adjusting as you go. You've got to maneuver and catch it quick. So you keep on doing
fluid. It's fluid.
It is.
It's like water. A river will define its own path.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Clearly, you said to me, it's like, I know exactly who I want to work with now.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you follow that path and trust it, it opens, right? It feels easy. And that's why it's like, I'm in the car, I'm ready to go. And it's easy, new client, bang. Because when you outlive and you're disconnected, you're in overdrive. And this is where I know I had chronic fatigue when I was a personal trainer, overdrive. Much trying to get there quicker without being here first. It doesn't happen.
No.
Absolutely. And we've got to listen into our inner guidance. And the way to do that is by what you're talking about, self-care, listening in, feeling it, self-love. Trusting the inner voice that's saying, move in this direction. It's okay. If everyone's over there, don't follow them. If you want to,
But, you know, I think that we sometimes unconsciously put out to the universe. And there was a story I think that I told you about when my daughter was 20. She got quite ill and I was working from home, and you know, just something happened, like she was getting silver chain in, she was really quite poorly, and the phone stops ringing. Clients stopped needing things. And I'm going, wow, this is like, I don't know how that happened or why it happened. But it was like, it was the right time. So I could devote to my daughter. And then as she started getting better and recovered, I didn't do anything. I just like took some time out for myself, and then the phone starts ringing, clients start coming back. Nothing that I do. It was the most strangest thing. And I am a big believer of the law of attraction. And when you find your inner peace and your inner self, and you learn to work from the inside out, I think you become this magnet of beauty, fun, care. Things come your way, like, you know, positive thinking. You know, you have a positive thinker and then you have a negative thinker, a pessimist as opposed to an optimist. Where does that optimist end up, and where does the pessimist end up? They say surround yourself with other entrepreneurs that you connect with. Don't surround yourself with negative people because it's toxic. I was surrounded by a few people that were toxic, and it just zapped all my energy. So there's a point where you should, as a business owner, surround yourself with positive energy, positive knowledge, self-care, love, mentorship, wellness, all these things that just help you to remain on track, are massive. And, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that have experienced that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that you've stepped into the fun and the joy and the lightness and ideal clients, where to from here for you? And what are you going to make sure that you maintain that as what I like to call, you know, a spiritual practice for yourself, so that you can stay connected to who you truly are?
Well, the swimming is such a big thing in my life now. It's you know, 3 days a week, you know, and generally sometimes we do it together, and afterwards we always promise ourselves we have a coffee and we have those courageous conversations. Some are fun, some are serious, some are just absolutely joyful. And, you know, again, we're surrounding ourselves with people that we love and enjoy being with. So that's definitely, I think I put it out there to everybody, in a spiritual way. Find something that gives you that joy, and that is going to absolutely continue. And look, the business for me now is not the be all and end all. I've been through that journey. I have so much knowledge and experience from that journey. that I would even love to share with people if they need help with that too. It's, well, what did you do when this happened, or what,
Yeah.
So for me, it's I hate that semi-retirement sort of term, but I just want to love life and catch up. You can't bank something like that. You can't bank self-love. It's something that has to be deposited all the time.
Yes, yes.
You can't go and put it in a long-term deposit, and hope that it's, that it's there when you need it. It's just a constant thing for me now.
Beautiful. Nicely put. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
what tip you want to walk away with and share to all entrepreneurs, business leaders? What would you share? Biggest tip, biggest learning lesson?
Do something every day that brings joy. And if that's in the middle of the day, phone your son, your mum, your dad, or whatever, or something that brings you some sort of joy. Yes. Because without joy, without some sort of fun during the day, something that happens that makes us smile, what's the point?
Absolutely. So it's a beautiful reminder of we're human beings, not human doings. It's a combination of those. Yeah. And when you connect with who you truly are, you be your natural self to then step into the doing. Yeah. And spiritual practice helps keep a balance of the physical, mental, emotional success. Yeah. Right? Which helps businesses grow in this case. Conversation that we're talking about, right? It's the same process with all subjects, whether it's health, relationships, money, business, career.
See, I'm coming towards the end of my career, and there's nothing, look, yes, sure, there's things that I can look back at and go, oh, I wish I changed that. But if that didn't happen, it's like, well, I wouldn't have grown from that. Correct. And I think everything that you experience, negative, positive, happy, sad, whatever it is, it's all growth.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing, Paula.
Thank you.
A well of wisdom. Yes.
Love you.
Love you too. And if anyone out there wants to seek more wisdom from you, where would they find you?
Just everythingvisual.com.au.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah, or send me an email, paula@everythingvisual.com.au.
Definitely.
Pick up the phone, call me, let's have a courageous conversation.
That's what it's about, getting real, okay?
Yeah.
We absolutely love. And then you can stay humanly connected to who you truly are and others. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, darling.
Okay, bye.
And thank you for tuning in, everybody. And thank you for any areas that you know that you want to grow in, please reach out to either Paula or myself, and check out our websites, AnnetteStanton.com as well. And I look forward to our next courageous conversation. Thanks again. Bye for now.